Hi everyone, today I'm going to make a birthday card for my mom. I'm going to show you some of the things I'm starting with, and then I'll show you a few more things as we get going. So the first thing that I'm going to show you today is the cardstock that I'm going to use. Now this is the Christmas cardstock, but it has a really nice red in it that I would like to use for her card, and this is a pack I got from Winners for $7.99. Now the envelopes in this box are just the plain regular white envelopes, so I decided I'd use another envelope, one that's like this rather than the traditional, and I really like red and blue together, so that's why I chose that. This envelope is from this set here. It's just a variety card pack from Colorblock, and they're solid colored cards and envelopes, so they don't have a white inside, but I wanted a white inside, so I'm going to use the card from here and then the envelope from here. I also have a piece of just white cardstock, really thin, and then I'm going to use the new pack of cardstock that I got, the Color Vibe. These are the 6x6, and I'm actually going to use the first one in here. They're really nice blue. And I'm not going to use the chevron, I'm going to use the polka dot side. Now, something that's new to me is actually a paper cutter. I picked this up at Winners when I was there last time for $7. Normally, you'll see me just measure out on my little pad here and mark it off and cut it with scissors, but this is great. So basically you just raise the arm out, all the measurements are along here, and then you just put your paper in and cut. So I just did this one here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the white one. So this is regular size card, so I think they call it an A2 card, so that means that it measures 5.5 by 4.25. So I went ahead and cut this just 1/4 inch less all the way around. So of course this one measures 5.25 by 4, and I'm going to go down 1/4 more for the white, and I'm going to cut this one to 3 3/4, and then on the bottom part it'll be 5. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now in my paper cutter. So I've gone ahead and lined this one up at the 5 marker on this side here, and then I just go ahead and slide this along, and then I have a perfect straight cut. And when you do the paper cutting, you'll end up with strips like this, which I always keep because these are great for additional cards, and I keep them in a big scrap box. So when I put this together, I decided I actually want to see a little bit more of that blue polka dot, so I'm going to cut another 1/4 inch off all the way around. So I'm happy with that larger border now, and I'm going to go ahead and set these aside and then just start decorating this part of the card. So from the Rainy Day Color Value Pack from Michaels, I'm taking the light gray cardstock, and I'm going to use this. I'm really new to stamping, but I'm going to do some stamping in my mom's card today. I'm going to use the 2 sets that I have. This one is the newest one that I purchased, and it's called Snow Day. I'm going to use one of the little bunnies in this. And then of course I'm going to use the birthday set I have, and that is the Hero Arts birthday clear stamp set. I'm going to go ahead and use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink and the acrylic blocks I have, and I will also be using some pens. Let me grab those. Just for a bit of coloring, I'll be using my Tombow Duo Brush pens. So let's get started. So I've mounted that little bunny there. I'm going to ink it up in the Memento Tuxedo Black and then stamp it onto my cardstock, give it a good press down, and there we have that little bunny all ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut the bunny out and then do some coloring. So my little bunny is already the gray color that I'd like, but I do want a little bit of pink for inside the ears. Now I don't have a lot of the Tombow pens, so I don't have a pink, but I do have red, and I do have the colorless blender. So what I'm going to do is take the red one and just touch the tip, and so then I will get a little bit of color on there, and I'm going to use that a little bit of color on the tip to go ahead and color in the ears. So now that little bunny has the pink ears, now this in no way ruins your tip. They're meant to do this. Once you finish, what I did is I just scribbled out the rest of the color on a piece of scrap here when I was trying out some of the stamps, and you can see I just scribbled out the rest of the pink and it's clear again, so you don't have to worry about doing that. Now to give that bunny a little bit more dimension, I'm going to use another technique with my colorless blender. I'm going to take some Distress ink, and this one is in the color Pumice Stone, and I'm going to take this ink and I'm going to put a little bit of it on my acrylic block. See just a tiny bit, and then I'm going to use my colorless blender to pick up a little bit of that ink. Now you could also do this with watercolor. And you see now I've got a little bit of the gray there, and I'm going to go ahead and shade my little bunny. And again, once I'm done, I'm going to just get rid of all the excess of my tip onto a piece of scrap paper, and there you can see my little bunny. Now that I've shaded it, it has a little bit more dimension. I'm going to go ahead and do some little pink cheeks as well. So to do the little pink cheeks, I went ahead and just touched my colorless blender to the red marker again. And you also could have used some more Distress ink. Now what I do to clean off my blocks is I actually just use a baby wipe to get rid of everything. So the first thing I'm going to stamp on the white cardstock is the Happy Birthday, which I have mounted on here. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up and stamp it right on the top there. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a really good press to make sure all the writing is on there, and then lift up, and we have a really nice scripty Happy Birthday. And now I'm going to go ahead and stamp this polka dot balloon in the scene, and really pushing that one down to get all the detail, the little polka dots. There we have that balloon stamped in the middle, and that is what the little bunny is going to hold. So using my Tombow red, I'm going to go ahead and color that balloon in. Now I don't want my little bunny to be suspended in midair when they're holding the balloon, so I'm going to go ahead and use a plain green marker and then my Tombow to create some grass, just with some flick motions. Now if I had a die cut machine, I would definitely use that Lawn Fawn grass die, but I do not have one, so I'm going to go ahead and do this to make it look like the little bunny's not floating. So there's that green marker first. I'm going to go ahead with the Tombow and do the same thing just to create some more dimension. I've got a little scrap piece under there so I can go right to the bottom, and then I'll go back in with that colorless blender. And to finish off the technique, I went back in with a permanent green, which was in between the two colors, and there we've got that grass. I'm going to go ahead and glue my little bunny on. I'm going to use my multimedia mat. Now, of course, this isn't the tip that it comes with. I got this in my craft haul, which I will link below if you're interested. So this is really strong adhesive, so you only need a little tiny bit. And he's stuck on, ready to go. I am going to add in a little red bow tie. I picked these up at the dollar store the other day, and I'm going to put one on him. Now when I put the bow tie there, I found it to be way too big, and I thought maybe of putting it in as a little hair bow, but again, I just found it really too big, so I'm going to save these for another card coming up. So now I'm going to go ahead and piece everything together with some glue tape. And there we have the finished card all pieced together. I also went ahead and decorated the envelope. So I used the same balloons from that set. And there's also a little 2 stamp. So let me just grab that. So I used this balloon as well as this one here and the little 2, and then I went ahead and colored in with my markers. I actually just used regular markers on here because I didn't want it to bleed through. I don't think the Tombows would, but they're just more inky, I would say. So we've got the envelope, nice blue and red contrast. Hope you enjoyed this card, and hope you have a great day.